Hey, this is Key. Welcome to my channel. Listen, I recently came back from my very first cruise, and I promised a few people that I would give them my thoughts on the cruise and the cruise line. So here we are. Now, let me preface this by saying historically, I have been anti-cruise. Anyone who knows me knows that I've always said I'm not getting on a cruise, not happening, count me out. Well, out of nowhere, I had a change of heart. I woke up on a Friday, decided I wanted to go on a cruise, and by Saturday afternoon, I was booked on an 11-night cruise on a cruise line I had never heard of. I picked this cruise simply because they were stopping at two places that I wanted to go this year anyway, so I figured I would just kill two birds with one stone and see a few other places in the process. With that being said, let's talk about this cruise ship. The cruise ship is the MSC Meraviglia. As I said, I had never heard of this cruise company, but I just chose them because of the itinerary. I'm going to rate this cruise ship on a few factors. Those factors being the booking process, the value, customer service, the embarkation process, my cabin, the ship, the food, the itinerary, entertainment, and just my overall experience. Now, as far as the booking process goes, the process was super simple. I booked online through the cruise website, and it was just like booking anything else. You choose your cabin type, your cruise experience, put your info in, and pay. Easy breezy. One thing I did learn though is that cruise line deals will literally be here today and gone tomorrow. So if you see a deal that you want, it's best to just jump on that deal right then and there because it might not be there tomorrow. As far as the value for an 11-day Caribbean cruise in a deluxe balcony suite, the cost, including my port fees, taxes, and insurance, was just a little less than $1,000. Of course, that did not include any add-ons like Wi-Fi, drink package, shore excursions, etc., etc. The basic Wi-Fi package was about $115, but the cruise also included a $100 onboard credit, so that did kind of offset the cost of Wi-Fi. In my opinion, the value of this cruise was definitely a 10 out of 10. The cruise included 5 port stops, well, really 6, but I'll talk about that later. Had I opted to visit all 5 countries separately, the cost of airfare alone would have cost more than $1,000. So in regards to value, I definitely feel like the cruise was well worth it. So yeah, cruise value, 10 out of 10. Now, as far as customer service, after booking my cruise, I had to contact customer service via telephone. And what I can say is that the phone customer service is horrible. I spoke with about 4 different reps, none of whom appeared to be knowledgeable. And one of them was so rude, I literally had to get her together. So I will say this, if you have any questions that can't be answered by visiting their website, you'd really be better off joining a Facebook group about the particular ship and doing your research there. With that being said, I will say that the customer service once you get on the cruise is phenomenal. Every single crew member that I encountered was extremely helpful and friendly and more than willing to go out of their way to assist. I've been in Facebook groups where people say they did not receive great service on the ship. However, that was not my experience. So phone customer service, 0 out of 10, but onboard customer service, 10 out of 10. Now, let's talk about the embarkation process. Once I booked my cruise, MSC flooded my email. The reason I use the term flooded is because they literally sent me the same email almost every single day. That email included forms that needed to be filled out, luggage tags, etc. On the day of the cruise, they assigned me a 1:30 p.m. check-in time. I arrived at the cruise port around 11:45 and checking in early was no problem at all. They had that process running like a well-oiled machine. From the time I entered the cruise terminal until I got to my room was about 30 minutes, give or take, and it probably would have taken less time, but I opted not to check my bags because I didn't want to have to wait on the crew to bring my luggage. So the embarkation process was definitely a 10 out of 10. There were no hiccups whatsoever. Now let's talk about this cabin. Since the cruise was so long, it was important for me to have a comfortable cabin. That's one of the main reasons I got a balcony. And besides that, I love a lot of natural light. As far as the cabin goes, as I mentioned before, it was what they refer to as a deluxe balcony cabin. I'm not sure what made it deluxe, but that's neither here nor there. The room was pretty spacious. Of course, the bathroom was small, but it was functional. And honestly, the shower felt so good, I did not want to get out of it most days. I think the bed was king size, and there was also a sofa that converted to bunk beds. And even though the room was very clean and all the other furniture looked fine, the sofa looked like it had seen better days. The removable cover on the sofa looked a little dingy for my taste, but overall the room was solid. The balcony was a really nice size, and even with the furniture out there, it felt roomy. One thing I will note is that the bed itself felt horrible. It was probably the most uncomfortable bed I have ever slept in. But other than that, the room was cool. I would give it an 8.5 out of 10. Regarding the ship itself, the rest of the ship was huge and beautiful. It had 18 or 19 floors, each of which was nicely decorated with crystal staircases, beautiful artwork throughout. You can tell that a lot of thought went into decorating the ship. From the main dining rooms to the lounges and bars, everything was aesthetically pleasing. As someone who's really into decor, this ship really checked all the boxes as far as looks go. One thing I can appreciate is that the ship was extremely clean. The crew seemed to take sanitation very seriously, and there were literally crew members cleaning day and night. This means a lot when you consider how quickly germs can spread when thousands of people are on board a vessel. So as far as the look of the ship and the cleanliness, definitely a 10 out of 10. Now let's talk about this food. I'm gonna say this, I have been in a few Facebook groups and read a ton of reviews, and there were mixed reviews regarding the food on board this ship. Some people felt that the food was great, others felt that it was terrible. I will say this, when I ate on the cruise, I mostly ate from the buffet because they schedule you for times in the main dining room, and I didn't want to have to be bothered with reservations since I was on vacation. The buffet offered a wide variety of food choices, so even the pickiest eater would find something. But even with all the food choices, the food was just okay. I'm talking maybe a 6.5 or 7 out of 10. I took my own seasoning on this cruise, and had I not, I probably would have been very disappointed as most of the food was extremely bland. I also ate in the main dining room for lunch on 2 occasions, and honestly, it wasn't really good. Was it terrible? No. But it definitely was nothing to write home about. So again, they get about a 6.5 or 7 out of 10 for food. Let's talk about entertainment and activities. This ship has something to do all day, every day. From fitness and yoga classes to learning foreign languages to shopping to gambling and parties. If you wanted to, you could do something from the time you woke up until the time you went to sleep. Like most cruises, they have multiple bars and lounges, a casino, shopping area, a spa, a gym, pools, hot tubs, a basketball court. They even had a children's area with a computer lab and a club just for teenagers. There was no shortage of entertainment on this cruise. With that being said, I would have liked to see just a little more turn up, just a tad bit. Maybe a line dance here or there, a little cha-cha slide to the left, reverse, something. The DJs on the deck did not play really good music, and you know a DJ can make or break a party atmosphere. But even so, there was more than enough to do on this ship. So as far as entertainment and activities, I would say 9 out of 10. As far as the itinerary, I definitely give this itinerary a 10 out of 10. I was very pleased with it. There were 5 ports. Well, technically 6 because it was a repositioning cruise. So we embarked in Florida, went to the Bahamas, Jamaica, Aruba, Curacao, Dominican Republic, and then ended up in New York. So if you really wanted, you could have spent the day in New York and made that a whole nother vacation day. Jamaica and Aruba were the main places I wanted to go, but I was also pleasantly surprised at the other stops. Dominican Republic was my absolute favorite, and I would have never gone had I not been on this cruise because it just wasn't on a list of my places that I wanted to go. So the itinerary was great to me. At the beginning, I didn't know how I would feel about being on a ship for so long, especially with it being my first cruise experience. But not only would I do it again, I think I have gotten spoiled because now all I'm looking for are longer cruises. So definitely a 10 out of 10 for the itinerary. So overall, I would give the MSC Meraviglia an 8 out of 10. It was a good time on a beautiful ship with nice stops. Would I plan another MSC cruise anytime soon? Probably not. Just because I like to experience some of the other cruise lines and I want something a little more upbeat and vibrant. But I do feel like the cruise was solid and enjoyable and a great value. So I would definitely be willing to sail MSC again in the future. With that being said, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Bye.